What's going on, guys? This is Jericho Supporter right now. I'm going to show you guys my first-person shooter collection. This is on the consoles. The reason why I'm doing this is because I'm downloading a couple of games on my Xbox 360. I'm downloading Hydrophobia, Wolfenstein 3D, and I'm not sure if I'm going to get Doom 2 or Duke Nukem 3D. But I know that Hydrophobia is going to take a while to download, because that thing is like 1 gigabyte. Alright, so let's start out with my consoles. I'll probably go in detail and stuff. Alright, first one is Modern Warfare 2. Good multiplayer shooter. If you're looking for a campaign, maybe you want to look elsewhere, because the campaign's only like 4 to 5 hours long in this game. But I will tell you the truth, it is good though. But this game is strictly multiplayer. COD 4, the multiplayer is better than the sequel because it's much more balanced. There's not a lot of annoying crap in the game. Although I will admit, I do have some hit detection problems with this game. I don't know why. However, the campaign is worse than Modern Warfare 2 though. Killzone 2, one of the reasons why you want to have a PS3, it's kind of like a hybrid of Counter-Strike, Halo, and Modern Warfare, but it's really done very well. The multiplayer is great, campaign is great, it's also quite lengthy too, and the last level is gonna like give you a real challenge. Halo Combat Evolved, the best Halo out of the Halo series. Not much I can criticize about this game, except level 9 can be a little bit better. I find that level a bit irritating to play at times. But it's a really great game. If you ever want to get into the Halo franchise, I recommend you to start with the first one. Unreal Championship, kind of like Unreal Tournament, except it's for the Xbox. A lot of people didn't really like this. I mean, yeah, a lot of the UT fans didn't like it because they were a bit skeptical about playing with the controller. But I thought the controls were amazing. Epic Games, they really gave you a lot of option to customize your sensitivity and all that stuff. And the aim assist, it's not that bad. I think Epic Games really did a great job with the controls on this game. And this is one of my favorite Xbox games. Alright, I got some more right here. And we got a long way to go. Half-Life, I used to like the Half-Life series, but now I'm getting a bit tired of it. I still like the first game, but the second game, I'm starting to lose interest in this game. I'm probably going to do something with that copy. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. Probably sell it. What's this game? Condemned 2 Bloodshot. I only played the first game. I still haven't opened this game. I mean, you can see it's still in, like, the plastics and all that stuff. But maybe someday. Medal of Honor Airborne, and holy shit, this game was so hard when I first played it. There's only 6 levels, but I swear it's like the hardest 6 levels you will ever play in a shooter. This is EA's last World War II Medal of Honor game, and they really made it really hard. I mean, compared to the previous game, I think this game kind of I think this game is like quite tough compared to the previous games. Anyways, it plays a lot like Call of Duty because that's what EA did pretty much with the newer Medal of Honor games. They kind of make it more COD friendly to the COD players. But it's a good game though. It has a little bit of nice RPG elements. Like if you beat a level, you can actually like upgrade your stuff, your weapons and all that stuff. It's pretty cool. Campaign lasted me around 8 to 10 hours because it was so hard, but I really enjoyed it when I beat the last level. And the last battle of the last level was just insanely intense. I mean, these guys, you're fighting these like Nazi super soldiers. They can kill you in like 1 second, but it takes almost like a full clip to kill them. And I was fighting like 20 of those guys, and it was so freaky. And by the way, I was by myself too. Nobody was there to back me up. Alright, the next game is a Wii exclusive, and that's Metroid Trilogy. This is a Metroid Prime Trilogy, not Metroid Trilogy. Anyways, if you're looking for a good campaign experience for the Wii, this game is definitely a must-buy. It's basically the OJ box for the Wii. I can't really talk much about it, but it's a great game. Oh, yeah, it's basically 3 games for the price of 1. Alright, Halo 2, I don't think it deserved all that 10s and 9s. I personally think this game was quite disappointing and average, very average. If it wasn't for the great multiplayer, this game would probably be a really average shooter. But the campaign, that's one of the reasons why I didn't really like this game. It felt a bit rushed, it felt very straightforwarded, but I still had fun with it, mostly for the multiplayer. And let's see what my next game is. Call of Duty 3. This is the first Call of Duty game I've ever owned. I don't have the first one or the second one. I heard they're better than the other games, campaign-wise though. However, I really did like COD 3 campaign. It was really fun. I did play multiplayer back in the days, but I didn't really get addicted to it compared to COD 4 and Modern Warfare 2. Perfect Dark Zero. This is basically a prequel to the original Perfect Dark, but not a lot of people like this game because they kind of Halo-ized it, and they really made it more slow-paced than the original game. But I thought it was pretty decent for what they did. But I can agree, it could have been better, but the multiplayer is still fun. I recommend you to buy this game for a multiplayer game. However, the campaign is still good though. The campaign will probably last you around 12 hours. But the problem with this game's campaign is that I kind of wish it has a better storyline, because the storylines, I felt like they just made it up in like 10 minutes, to be truthfully honest. Black. This is only a console-only shooter just for the PS2 and Xbox. Excellent game. It's kind of like Medal of Honor, but it's much more, how can I say, it's much more Rambo-ish, much more intense, and it's really, really fun to play. It doesn't really take itself seriously. The storyline's kind of, but if you really want a good campaign and you just want to like blow shit up, this is the game for you. Oh yeah, and I kind of wish this game was out for the PC, because I'm sure a lot of PC shooters will like this game. Next game is Quake 4. In terms of port of the PC version, it's quite decent. The problem is that there are some frame rate issues at times, especially when there's too many enemies on screen. However, Quake 4 as a game, it's good. I like it, although it plays very similar to Doom. Although I will admit, all the Quake games have been very similar to Doom. But what I love about the Xbox 360 version is you get Quake 2 with it. There's the bonus disc. You get Quake 2 with Quake 4, so it's basically 2 games for the price of 1. And I love Quake 2 and Quake 4, so I really love this game as a whole package. Alright, the Conduit. You want a Halo-esque shooter? This is pretty much the shooter to go. The storyline's quite disappointing. I felt like it had a lot of concept and potential. I mean, it had a lot of potential, but it kind of just failed. But I still enjoyed the gunplay of this game. It's also pretty challenging too, and I really like that, because a lot of people always say that the Wii games are easy, but this game will make your blood boil. However, the multiplayer, if you're looking for a multiplayer shooter, I heard like the multiplayer has a lot of hackers. I joined a game and I just lagged out. I think it was some hacker that just automatically made me lag out or some shit. So I wouldn't recommend you to get that game for the multiplayer, but I totally recommend you to get it for campaign. Alright, the next game is another Medal of Honor game. It's Medal of Honor Heroes 2 for the Wii, and holy shit, this game is comparable to this game right here. I mean, they're both freaking tough games. They're both really punishing, except I think this one is a lot more cheap. It has I mean, in the later levels, it becomes so freaking cheap. It starts throwing you all these cheap DS with a lot of challenging firefights, and it makes the game almost very frustrating to play. But if you have a strong like stomach, you probably could beat it. And the game, I was like, and another similarity with this game and that game, this game only has like 8 levels long, but it's gonna be like the 8 hardest levels you'll ever play in your life. However, I did beat them both. I'm glad I did, because they're probably some of the hardest first-person shooters I've ever beaten. Counter-Strike. If you want to play Counter-Strike like like if you're looking for the real way to play it, get the PC version. However, the Xbox port was actually pretty good. I kind of liked it. The controls were nice, and if you just want to see how the Counter-Strike team ported the PC version to the Xbox, check this one out. Return to Castle Wolfenstein. This is the first version I've played. for Return to Castle Wolfenstein. I know it came out for the PC. I did play the demo of it. It's very different compared to the console version, but I'm aware that the console version has more levels and more content than the PC version. So it's quite useless to buy the PC version unless you just want to play with mouse and keyboard. Or yeah, that's pretty much it. Unless you just want to play with the mouse and keyboard. Other than that, the Xbox version is pretty much more worthy price, I guess. But I will admit, this game does have some problems. The lighting is just way too dark. Even if I'm turning my brightness all the way max, it's still dark. The aim assist is a bit too heavy for my taste, and even if I turn it off, it's so hard to see the enemies, and I can barely tell if I'm aiming the right person, so I have to turn on the aim assist. But other than that, the game itself is good. I think it's a pretty good reimagining of the Wolfenstein franchise, except the later levels of this game, it becomes way too sniper ridden. I want to shoot people with my machine gun, just like the old times with the original Wolfenstein games. Medal of Honor, the original Medal of Honor right here. If you ever want to get into the series, get this game. It's awesome. It's kind of like GoldenEye and Perfect Dark, except it has a World War II theme to it. It's basically the shooter that you want to get for your PlayStation. Alright, next we got a PS3 exclusive that a lot of people didn't like, but I thought it was average. Haze. I don't know why people hated this game so much. I thought it was playable. The guns were nice. The only problem with the game is that it's a bit hard to take it seriously at times, since the voice actors feel like they gotta work on their acting a bit. But the storyline, to be truthfully honest, I thought it was quite interesting. But it does kinda... Oh man, I forgot how it ended. Oh yeah, the way how it ended kind of feels like there's a sequel, but I wouldn't really say it's a cliffhanger. I think the multiplayer is still pretty strong. I haven't played it for a while, but if you just want a fun shooter to play, Haze is a good choice. Another, well, I don't really think I should call this game a first-person shooter, but Mirror's Edge. It's more like a first-person platformer, but there are some first-person shooting in this game. And if you're really burnt out by playing all first-person shooters, because let's be truthfully honest, they do get a bit repetitive and they do feel the same at times. But Mirror's Edge is totally different compared to those games. Alright, next up is my all-time favorite PS3 first-person shooter, Resistance Fallen Man. This game is almost like Halo Combat Evolved. It's almost perfect. It just does everything right. The only thing I don't really like this game is the multiplayer. It's quite average, but if you really want a good campaign, fun campaign with a good storyline, this game is a must-buy. It's a must-buy. However, I will warn you, the game is a little bit tough on your first playthrough, because it does have some pretty bad checkpoints, and at times you're gonna have no idea what you're supposed to do. But if you have a strong stomach, you can probably beat this game. I love this game so much that I didn't care if I had to die